As I was creating my self-portrait, I was aware of time constraints as well as constraints on resources to create my self-portrait. I wanted to use simplistic tools and equipment like Napachi Putukuk and her daughter Annie. I enjoyed drawing and using pencil crayons, as well as Crayola markers to do my self-portrait. I found the experience deeply personal and required me to do some deep soul searching. I had to ask myself a bunch of questions like, who am I? What is happening now in my life? And what do I want to show about myself in a self-portrait for this class? I came to answer these questions in relation to my present reality of being in the final year of my social work degree. I entered social work studies much later in life. I am currently 42 years old and I have 2 children. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I grew up in the East Coast of Canada and experienced childhood poverty. The feelings of oppression and control have dominated my lifelong existence. Hatred for the injustice of our world has been fueled by the unfairness of my life, and I have struggled with depression and anxiety most of my adult life related to childhood trauma. I was diagnosed with complex PTSD and a series of other mental health issues related to trauma. With both of my pregnancies, I struggled with serious postpartum depression, and I had to go to into the hospital as a result. I wear anxiety every day like a cloak, something that never really leaves me. However, I have come to use it to fuel my passion for social justice and peace, for working with others and with myself. I use humor to deflect and make sense of my world. There are elements of trickster, like in the artist Harry Fonseca in the About Face exhibition. During the last year, the meme of the white cat and the screamingly overly emotional woman kept crossing my Facebook feed. I use this image to show my feelings of the injustices. In my image, the cat sits on the chair of despair while eating the salad and a chunk of my bleeding heart. Behind me, you see the character of No Face from the Japanese film Spirited Away. This film I have watched many times with my children. This film won an Oscar and is said to be one of the best films to come out of Japan. Japanese animator Miyazaki from Spirited Away is one of the most popular animators in Japan. The film is about another world full of spirits, a sacred space. The character No Face is my self-portrait of an alter self. No Face is mysterious. He wears a mask, like the masks of Joe David in the About Face exhibition. This masked character resembles a ghost that transcends the two-sided world. There are theories about No Face and what he represents. In the film, he is neither a villain or a hero, but rather in between. In the film, he devours others in order to no longer be lonely. And No Face is simply a spirit looking for answers. He eats and becomes like those he eats and takes on attitudes and evil of those he eats as well. He makes people question greed and those with uncontrollable appetites. In the film, No Face is a lonely spirit who wants to connect with others, but doesn't always know how. He is an adaptable spirit, somewhat naive, that displays a kind heart. In an interview, Miyazaki describes a word in Japanese. The word is ma, meaning emptiness. It's there intentionally in the film. Ma is my self-portrait intentionally, as I have felt the need to take on healthy emptiness to fill the holes of my trauma. No Face is both a supportive character and a curse in this portrait. If there is constant busyness without ma, emptiness, you get numb. You feel less, emotionless. In my portrait, I am crying and I'm pointing my finger of blame at the unfairness of our society, fully burdened by the anxieties of this life. I feel that my hair resembles and has the liking of Susan Stewart's Medicine Horses, as well as Neil David's self-portraits from About Face. In the portrait you'll see the fork, where I say, "Fork you, you unfair world," the piece of my heart bleeding and the mocking cat licking his blood-stained mouth. There was lots of emotions, and I found myself needing to take breaks as I did my self-portrait. But here it is. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.